Have you ever felt that there is a level of understanding about yourself that no school, no institution, and no ordinary teacher has ever shown you? What if one of history's most mysterious symbols, the legendary 33rd degree, was never meant to represent power over others, but mastery over the hidden forces within your own mind? For centuries, countless stories, myths, and speculations have surrounded this symbol. Some believe it guards unimaginable secrets. Others dismiss it as nothing more than legend. But tonight, we are setting speculation aside and exploring something far more profound. Through the timeless voice of Sophia, the eternal symbol of wisdom, we'll uncover what many philosophers, mystics, and seekers have long believed this mysterious degree can symbolize the final awakening of human consciousness. This is not about exposing secret organizations or making extraordinary claims. It is about decoding timeless symbols that have inspired generations to seek truth within themselves. By the end of this journey, you may never look at your own life, your struggles, or your potential in the same way again. And if this exploration awakens something inside you, if you're someone who seeks wisdom instead of noise, understanding instead of fear, subscribe now and join thousands of seekers exploring ancient wisdom, consciousness, and self-mastery together. Every week, we uncover ideas that challenge ordinary thinking and invite extraordinary reflection. Now, take a slow breath, set aside every assumption, and prepare yourself. Because what Sophia is about to reveal isn't hidden from the world. It has simply been overlooked by minds that never learned how to truly see. Imagine standing before an enormous stone doorway that appears to have been sealed for thousands of years. Massive pillars rise toward the heavens. Ancient symbols glow softly across weathered stone. Every legend you've ever heard tells you that behind this door lies the greatest secret ever protected by humanity. Kings searched for it. Philosophers devoted entire lifetimes to understanding it. Mystics crossed deserts believing they might one day stand exactly where you now stand. Yet as you reach toward the door, something unexpected happens. It slowly opens without resistance. It had never actually been locked. Sophia smiles. The greatest illusion, she whispers, is believing wisdom is hidden from those willing to see. Throughout history, humanity has always imagined that ultimate truth exists somewhere outside itself. We search distant mountains, forgotten temples, sacred books, mysterious traditions, and legendary teachers. We imagine someone else possesses the answer, while we remain incomplete. But Sophia reminds us that every authentic wisdom tradition ultimately points in the opposite direction. The longest journey a human being will ever take is not across continents. It is the journey inward. This is where the symbolic idea of the 33rd degree begins. Not as a title, not as a reward, not as proof that someone is superior, but as a metaphor for arriving at a state of consciousness where illusion loses its power. Notice something remarkable about every great civilization. Ancient Egypt carved lessons into temples. Greek philosophers asked questions instead of giving easy answers. Eastern sages spoke in paradoxes. Indigenous traditions taught through stories carried across generations. Although separated by geography and language, they all hinted at the same mysterious truth. Transformation happens from the inside out. Sophia explains that symbols survive because they speak to something words cannot fully describe. A symbol is like a mirror. Two people can look at exactly the same image and discover completely different meanings, depending on who they have become. The symbol itself never changes. The observer does. That is why people have debated the meaning of the 33rd degree for generations. Some search for literal explanations. Others become fascinated with mystery itself. Yet Sophia invites us to ask a different question. What if the real secret was never information? What if it was perception? Imagine two travelers walking through the same forest. One sees only trees, dirt, and shadows. The other notices patterns in the sunlight, hears birds communicating across great distances, recognizes medicinal plants beneath ordinary leaves, and feels connected to something much larger than themselves. The forest did not change. Awareness did. Sophia says consciousness works exactly this way. The world reveals itself according to the depth of the observer. This realization changes everything. Most people spend their lives believing external events determine inner peace. They wait for success before feeling worthy. They wait for approval before feeling confident. They wait for perfect circumstances before allowing themselves to become happy. Years pass. Opportunities disappear. Relationships change. Seasons come and go. Eventually, many discover they have spent decades waiting for permission to become themselves. Sophia gently interrupts this endless waiting. She asks a question so simple that it feels almost unsettling. What if your life has been waiting for you instead? The question lingers. For a moment, everything becomes silent, because deep inside, nearly everyone recognizes the uncomfortable truth that we often postpone living while preparing for life. We collect knowledge. We collect achievements. We collect possessions. Yet rarely do we collect understanding. The symbolic path toward the 33rd degree begins when knowledge transforms into wisdom. Knowledge says fire is hot. Wisdom knows when to approach it and when to step away. Knowledge fills the mind. Wisdom reshapes the person. Sophia describes the human mind as a magnificent palace filled with countless rooms. Most people spend their entire lives living in only one or two of those rooms. They become comfortable there. Familiar beliefs become permanent furniture. Assumptions become walls. Fear locks windows that were never meant to stay closed. One day, curiosity quietly knocks. Many ignore it. Others become frightened by it. But those who answer discover hidden staircases leading deeper into themselves. Each staircase represents another layer of awareness. At first, the journey feels exciting. Then uncomfortable, because every deeper level asks us to release something we once believed was absolutely true. This is why authentic transformation often feels like loss before it feels like freedom. Sophia explains that the greatest obstacle to wisdom has never been ignorance. It has always been certainty. The person convinced they already know everything has unknowingly ended their education. Children learn quickly because they remain curious. Adults often stop learning because they become invested in appearing certain. Yet every great philosopher understood that genuine intelligence begins with humility. The willingness to say, "Perhaps I have more to discover." Sophia pauses before revealing another profound insight. She says that symbols such as the 33rd degree become dangerous only when misunderstood. When interpreted as status, they create ego. When interpreted as responsibility, they create service. This distinction changes everything. Imagine climbing a mountain. At first you climb to prove something. Eventually, you climb because you love climbing. Finally, you climb because from the summit you can help others find safer paths upward. The mountain remains identical. Only the climber evolves. This is the hidden progression Sophia invites us to consider. The journey from ambition to understanding. From understanding to compassion. From compassion to quiet wisdom. History remembers conquerors. But humanity is transformed by teachers. Sophia reminds us that every civilization eventually fades. Empires rise and fall. Governments change. Technologies evolve. Wealth appears and disappears. Yet wisdom survives, because it lives within people rather than buildings. This explains why ancient teachings continue inspiring millions centuries after their creators disappeared. Truth does not become obsolete. It simply waits for another generation willing to recognize it. Perhaps that is why symbols continue attracting attention long after their original historical contexts have faded. They speak directly to questions every human being eventually asks. Who am I? Why am I here? What prevents me from becoming my highest self? Sophia never answers these questions directly. Instead, she hands you a mirror. Because no one else can answer them for you. The greatest teacher does not create followers. The greatest teacher creates individuals capable of discovering truth independently. As this realization settles into your mind, something unexpected happens. The mysterious doorway you imagined at the beginning of this journey slowly disappears. Not because the secret vanished, because you finally understand there was never a door separating you from wisdom. Only perception. And as Sophia's voice fades into silence, she leaves you with one final thought that echoes long after her words have ended. The forbidden secret was never hidden by anyone else. It was hidden beneath every fear, every distraction, every certainty, and every illusion you carried about yourself. The moment you begin removing them, you do not discover the path. You realize you have been walking it all along,